Greetings, science students. Light travels via a process known as electromagnetic radiation. So the electrical component of that refers to the electrical fields operating in a vertical manner. And then we have the magnetic fields that are operating in a horizontal manner. So these two waves are perpendicular to one another. And when they change together and travel together, they form these light waves. Now, when we record these electromagnetic waves, there's some key terminology that we need to be mindful of. So if we look at this electromagnetic wave and we start here at this crest and then we work down up to the next crest, we call that one wavelength. So that is the length of the wave which we measure in nanometers, nm. Now, as this electromagnetic radiation moves in both a longitudinal fashion and also a transverse fashion, horizontal, we get crests, which are at the top of the wave, and we get the troughs, which are at the bottom of the wave. Some key points in terms of terminology. Now, apart from measuring the wavelength, there's a couple of other ways that we measure waves. So if we draw a line between the midpoint of the crest at the top and the trough at the bottom, and then we work out the vertical distance between that midpoint and our crest, which would be the same as our midpoint and our trough, that's a measure of our amplitude. So amplitude is a measure of our vertical distance between midpoint and crest, as opposed to frequency, which we're measuring in a longitudinal manner by simply counting the number of waves that occur over a fixed period of time. And if we count the number of cycles or wavelengths that we have per second, we create the units of hertz, which is abbreviated HC, which is our primary measure of the frequency of the waves. So to determine the frequency of our light waves, we simply track how many wavelengths we have in a 1 second stretch. So if we look at this one on the left, we've got a crest here, 2, 3, 4. So that is 4 hertz. And if we look on the right here, again, we can track the number of crests or the number of troughs, number of cycles per second that will equal, and we get a frequency of 14 hertz.